Hi. This week I am taking a look at a passage in Matthew chapter 10 where Jesus is continuing to give instructions to the apostles about how to go about spreading the gospel message. The most famous part of this passage is that Jesus tells them not to worry about what they're going to say when they're taken in front of governments, and that it's going to be the Spirit who testifies for them. But there are a number of things in this passage that either I didn't know or I can see are frequently misunderstood. So, in the beginning of the study, I take a look at the symbolism in the first part of the passage, which Jesus is comparing them to serpents and doves and sheep among wolves. And we talk about some of the different reasons for using those comparisons, especially the serpent, because we always think of serpents as bad. But in this case, Jesus may be referring to them because they were thought of as very wise animals at the time. So he's actually encouraging the apostles to be like serpents because he wants them to be shrewd and wise in their decisions. And then also, one commentary that I found really interesting said that when Jesus was giving them encouragement by saying that the Spirit was going to testify for them or give them the words to say, um, he, it, this the commentary said that the apostles were most likely not concerned about what they were going to say to prevent their own deaths. They were concerned that their ignorance or lack of education was going to cause them to be unable to convey the testimony properly, that they would misrepresent the gospel message somehow. And so Jesus was encouraging them that they didn't have to worry about that. So I had never considered that passage that way before. Of course, I had always imagined that they were going to be trying to save themselves, but that may or may not have been the case. Um, and then there were also some parts in the later passages. Jesus, of course, referred to the Old Testament several times. He talked about how family members would turn against each other, which in this case would result in the apostles being taken before governments and kings because they would be turned in. And then at the end, he talks about that the apostles will not be finished going through all the cities of Israel before he returns. And that was the major one that I feel like was hard to understand because there are a number of times when Jesus is talking that he refers to the group of people right in front of him, saying that they won't die before he returns or something like that. And those can be hard to understand because, of course, they did die and Jesus has not returned. So, in this case, one of the commentaries I read said that he may have been referring specifically to spreading the message to the Jews because um, Israel was going to receive God's judgment in the form of the Roman army in 70 AD, which would have been shortly following the time of Jesus's commission. Specifically, it would have been about 35 years. Um, Slightly more maybe, but certainly we could have expected that a lot of those people would have lived 35 years, and that their mission still may not have been completed within that period of time. So take a look at the rest of the notes on here. It's a um, pretty straightforward commentary this time. Not a lot of visual aids or anything like that, but hopefully you get a little bit out of it, and we'll see you next time.